Hello, my name is Adam Khan, and this is my half-ass channel. So, is the housing market going to collapse? I don't think so. I sure don't think so. And I'll tell you let me get into the thing that I need to first. I am not a financial planner. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a lawyer. Please use any of this information for entertainment purposes only. Reach out to your financial planner, your accountant, or your lawyer for your financial decisions. That being said, no, the housing market is not going to collapse. There's a lot of gloom and doomers out there, but seeing that I get to see the mortgage fluctuation and the applications and how things work on that end, the buyers have picked their heads up and they're back in the market. It isn't crazy busy, but they are, and the sellers aren't desperate. I'm watching buyers who put in these offers that are way too low because they're watching too many YouTubes and whatever else about markets collapsing. Do me a favor. If you're watching guys talk about markets collapsing, go look at their videos from a year ago. I do. And I got to tell you, the three guys who I saw, all three of them were super bullish a year ago. And now they're talking gloom and doom that the world is going to collapse and housing's going so much further. And what I say is, oh my God, you guys are so late and so wrong. The panic is set in. I want to buy from panic sellers, but they're fading. People are getting more comfortable that the market's okay and that this is just the way life is. And what you guys as buyers have to recognize is when a loaf of bread went from $1 to $1.50, the real estate did the same thing. Everybody's getting too focused on the interest rates and everything else. Inflation is inflation. Things are more expensive. Your house as well. So, no, the prices are not crazy. The interest rates are not crazy. The interest rates have just gotten back to where they were in the 90s or early 2000s. To be perfectly honest, I think the Fed has room to run. And I don't mean in a bad way. I mean, if the market is supporting the demand that is here now and they feel the need to slow it a little further, they have room to raise rates. And you know what that actually does? That gives them plenty of room to cut if things slow. And I don't mean in this big dramatic, oh my God, the economy is going to collapse. I just mean to tweak things if they think that things have gotten too slow. They've also slowed on the quantitative easing now, so that if they need to do that, they can as well. So while it looked so attractive when rates were at zero and they were flushing in tons of money, I had concerns of, oh my God, what if the economy turns? They have no more weapons in their belt. Now they do. And the economy looks good. The fear and the nervousness in both the stock market and the housing market is pretty healthy. People shouldn't just be diving in without thinking about it because it's going to a million. Like, that's a mistake. So is thinking it's going to zero. And if you are looking to buy your primary residence, stop listening to these guys. Stop it. Come up with a reasonable budget, be able to afford what you're buying, and look at the market and see what's available and find yourself a home. If the Fed raises rates, if they lower rates, if house prices go up or go down, that shouldn't be a concern from somebody buying a primary residence for them and their family. The concern should be budgeting properly and finding something that you're okay with. If you're buying an investment property, let's have a different discussion. But most of you guys are just looking for a home and you're spending rent to pay somebody else's. And let's think about it this way. Most people who buy a house hope maybe they buy a bigger one day. So let's pretend you go and buy a $400,000 home. And the market drops 25%. Well, percentage wise, that's a lot of money. Oh my God, you're down $100,000, right? But if you were hoping to upgrade one day, the home that was 800,000 dropped 25%, well, and it's now 600,000. You're only 300,000 away. You've gotten closer than the 400,000 you were before. So if you stayed in budget and bought a house you could afford, Well, maybe you're in the position to rent that house out. Well, instead of taking a loss, and consider buying that $800,000 home when you want to upgrade that's now fallen to 600,000. All of these guys make you overthink it. It's great for videos. I'm sure it draws attention and gets them subscribers and people to look. But it's just hyperbolism. It's not what's really going on. Economy's pretty good. I go out to dinner and places are doing okay. I complain about the price too because I don't want to pay more than I used to. But to be fair, if we can't afford it, we don't go. And when I go, they're pretty crowded, so I assume the other people are in the same boat. We may see a slowdown, but as long as the job and the unemployment is strong, or it's not weak, and we don't have a whole bunch of unemployed people, and the payrolls are considering continuing to go up, chill. Economy's okay. And houses came down a little bit. It's a great opportunity. I would say you better get in there before we start losing some of the inventory and the sellers become less negotiable. Right now they might pay a little bit of closing costs here in Las Vegas and they might come down a little bit in the price. That happens really rarely. I've been doing this 10 years and typically people have to pay full ask even when the market was fine. I think this opportunity is going to be gone in a month or two. And there's all these realtors on there telling you, wait, wait, wait. Do me a favor. Don't wait. Don't listen to them. They have no idea. They're making a guess just like I am. But what I'm telling you is if you're buying a home for you to live in 20 years, you're going to be glad you had it. Like, it's so hard for me to picture any other way. And if you don't, it's just going to become further and further out of reach. So I hope I give good information. I hope you guys like it. If you don't listen, like I've said in some of my other videos, I like talking markets. It makes no difference to me. So I'll talk to myself. That's all good too. But if people are watching, like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you think. Feel free to argue it with me. I can point to some economic data that shows the same thing. And I'm hoping when the March and April and May numbers from last year fall off CPI and PPI, that you actually see the inflation numbers not look so high. There's a lot of information about the way that those numbers are calculated, and by those months falling off and the new ones coming in, that maybe things aren't quite the way that the media makes it sound. So go buy a home. Have a good day.